The street was quiet when 12-year-old Lily, blind since birth, took her usual route home with her loyal canine service dog, Shadow. Cars hummed in the distance, the sun fading behind the buildings. Suddenly, sirens screamed and police officers jumped from their cruiser, shouting and running directly toward Lily. Shadow barked and lunged protectively, placing himself between her and the officers. Bystanders gasped. It looked like the police were attacking a blind girl and her service dog. But seconds later, the truth exploded into view, and everyone realized Shadow wasn't protecting Lily from the police. He was protecting her from something far worse. The city streets were quiet that evening, the kind of calm that feels too still, like the world is holding its breath. 12-year-old Lily Turner walked home from music class, her cane tapping softly on the sidewalk. By her side was Shadow, her loyal service dog, a black German shepherd trained to guide her through every step of her day. His movements were precise, gentle, and confident. To Lily, Shadow wasn't just a dog, he was her eyes, her protector, her entire sense of safety. She hummed softly as she walked, counting the steps to the crosswalk. The air smelled faintly of rain, and in the distance, she could hear the low hum of traffic. Everything was normal until Shadow stopped. His body stiffened, his ears shot up. A low growl rumbled from his chest. "What is it, boy?" Lily asked, reaching down to touch his neck. But Shadow didn't move. His muscles tensed as if ready to spring. He positioned himself in front of her, blocking her from the street. Lily frowned, confused. "Shadow!" Then chaos. A police siren blared, echoing down the narrow street. Tires screeched. Somewhere close, a door slammed. Heavy boots pounded on the pavement. Lily turned her head instinctively toward the noise, her heart racing. "Ma'am, move back," a man's voice shouted. She froze. The sudden shouting, the pounding footsteps, she couldn't see where they were coming from. Shadow barked fiercely, positioning himself between Lily and the approaching sound. "Stay away," she cried, clutching the leash. "He's not dangerous. He's my service dog." The bystanders nearby gasped. To them, it looked like a scene out of a nightmare. Officers running toward a blind girl, their hands raised, a barking dog trying to defend her. One woman yelled, "Leave her alone." But within seconds, the truth came crashing in. Behind Lily, a man in a dark hoodie was running fast, wild-eyed, holding something metallic in his hand. He had just robbed a convenience store 2 blocks away and was sprinting directly toward the intersection where Lily stood. Unaware, Shadow had sensed him first. "Get her out of there," an officer shouted. Everything happened in a blur. Shadow lunged forward, pulling Lily sharply to the side. Just as the fleeing suspect barreled past her, the man's arm brushed against her shoulder, and something small and cold dropped from his hand. A gun. It clattered across the pavement, inches from Lily's foot. Shadow snarled, snapping at the man's leg before the officers tackled him to the ground. The weapon skidded out of reach as handcuffs clicked into place. Lily stumbled, her heart pounding. "Shadow!" The police captain rushed to her side, kneeling. "You're safe now. He just saved your life." The crowd fell silent. Shadow, still alert, stood over Lily protectively, his chest heaving. The officer looked down at him with awe. "That's one incredible partner you've got there." Lily's lip trembled as she knelt and hugged her dog tightly. "I told you, he's my eyes." For a long moment, no one spoke. Even the officers, tough and seasoned, couldn't hide the lump in their throats. The story spread fast. The next morning, headlines across the city read, "Blind girl and her service. Dog saved from armed suspect. Police call it a miracle of instinct." At the precinct, Officer Ramirez, the first to reach Lily, couldn't stop replaying the scene in his mind. The way Shadow had moved, how he'd sensed danger before any human could. It was as if he'd seen through the chaos, protecting her with something deeper than sight. A few days later, Lily and Shadow were invited to the station. Cameras flashed as the police chief pinned a small silver tag on Shadow's collar that read, "Guardian of Courage." Lily smiled shyly as reporters asked her how it felt. She held Shadow's paw in her small hands and said, "He doesn't see danger. He just feels love. That's why he knew." Everyone in the room fell silent. Even the officers, who'd faced every kind of danger imaginable, couldn't hold back their tears. But what truly melted hearts came later that night. Back at home, Lily sat on the couch, brushing Shadow's fur. Her father, watching from the doorway, whispered, "You know, when your mom passed, I didn't know how I'd keep you safe. But then Shadow came, like he was sent here for a reason." Lily smiled faintly. Maybe he was. Shadow lifted his head, resting it gently on her lap, a silent promise that he would never let her walk alone, no matter what the world threw her way. And somewhere deep inside that quiet apartment, in the soft hum of the city outside, it felt like destiny had placed the right soul beside her, not just a guide, but a guardian who saw with his heart. If this story touched your heart, remember, some heroes don't wear badges or capes. They walk beside us quietly, seeing what we can't, protecting what we love most. Hit like, share, and subscribe if you believe in loyalty that never fades and love that needs no words. Tell us below where you're watching from, and if you have a story of a dog who changed your life, share it in the comments. Because sometimes, the truest vision comes not from our eyes, but from our hearts.